Welcome to another edition of IMO Sports with Pedro Justice. HBO boxing, the good, the bad, and the ugly. What I want to do is address HBO boxing over the last 15, 20 years. At least the last 15 years that I've been watching HBO boxing. As a young man, as a teenager, I used to enjoy listening to HBO boxing, not because of Jim Lampley, not because of Larry Merchant, but because of the other people who would be there, whether it's George Foreman, whether it's Emanuel Stewart, or Roy Jones Jr. They always brought something to the table that kept me watching, because Jim Lampley would sometimes, well, let's just say this. Maybe 15 years ago, Jim Lampley, he would be a lighter version of what he has been over the last 5 years. He wouldn't be as bad, and the reason why is because Larry Merchant was that much worse than he was. Larry Merchant was way out there. Before my time, Larry Merchant would, maybe when he was younger, he had more sense. But as he got older, he got more cynical. He would tear down Roy Jones Jr., trying to say he wasn't fighting anybody, that he was being too nice and all these things. And Roy would have to put him in his place and let him know, hey, I respect you, but I'm going to put you in check. Emanuel Stewart, he was very nice about how he would correct them. And so Jim Lampley, he's still saying his little things here and there, but Larry Merchant was the bad guy. He would be the one who would get in the ring and Floyd Mayweather had to put him in check, because he would just say what he wanted because he was an older guy. But now that he's gone, Jim Lampley is just running wild. It's the ugly. Jim Lampley will say that a punch landed when there was no way in the world the punch landed. Oh, did you see that? Oh, he's pitching a shutout. He's won every round. Come on now. It's not even true. You're watching the fight, and so what it does is the HBO commentating causes a bias to the listener's ears. So they're watching something and listening to Jim Lampley, and he's saying things and excitable, but when you listen and watch the fight, it's on mute. You say, wait a minute, something's different. I'm noticing that nothing's happening. The guy threw a lot of punches, but not many of them landed. They're picked off. And why is he not saying the other guy's doing something when he should? So what it does is it causes a bias. So it looks like HBO only supports HBO fighters. They're not calling it down the middle. That whenever they go to the scorecards, they have in their mind what they think it should be, and then the reality of what it should be. The Ward-Kovalev fight. Listening to them, this would have been a clear landslide victory for Kovalev. But if you're just watching the fight and you're tuning them out, you realize this is a very close fight. And some of the rounds they're getting excited about, actually, Andre Ward won those rounds. Apart from the knockdown in the second round, it's a very competitive fight. If my memory serves me correct, I think that Andre Ward won the next round after he got knocked down. So I'm not understanding why HBO boxing is where it's at. Oh, well, I think I do understand why. There's been some major cuts at HBO, and the boxing department has been affected. Is it because the ratings are not what they used to be? Is it because Jim Lampley is too much and it's making people not want to watch Boxing After Dark or listen to them on the pay-per-views? Something's going on where they made major cutbacks. And they 24/7, I mean, that program was amazing. And when they do show it, it's great, but it's not like it used to be. And now they have Max Kellerman on there. He's okay. Max Kellerman, when he was on ESPN, he used to be the man. He would be the one who get Roy Jones Jr. on there for them to talk about his fights. On Friday Night Fights, he had his little section, his time, and he would put boxers on. That's when he supported the fighters. Now I'll say that